Here's a quick list of a few resume do's and don'ts that can help improve your resume. Balance the amount of white space on your resume. Make sure that you write your resume in a format that is easy to read and makes good use of the page. Use the tab key to keep information in line and try to keep 1-inch margins. White space is the amount of blank space on your resume. If you have too much, you might not be saying enough about your qualifications for the position. If you have too little, your resume might be too dense for employers to get the most relevant information. Here's an example of two identical employment history sections, though on the top, the date is on the left, and on the bottom, it's on the right. On the top, the additional information had to be tabbed over to the right, leaving a block of white space, whereas on the bottom, this white space is on the right, and this space can be used for a longer description of employment history. While in this example, the additional white space is a small amount, adding it for every section of your resume can create a lot of unintentional white space. Don't send your resume without it being proofread. Getting someone to read your resume can help catch mistakes that you may have read wrong. Like this sentence, for example. You can arrange for an appointment at Career Services or the Writing Center to get someone to read your resume, but you should always get someone else to read it before you send it out. Arrange your resume content based on relevance. If you're applying for a volunteer position, you might want your top section to be your volunteer experience instead of your work history. You want to tailor your resume for each posting in a number of ways. One of those ways is to change how you arrange the sections of your resume. You want to present the most relevant experience first, and that isn't always going to be your employment experience. Don't include personal social information. For example, date of birth, marital status, ethnicity, or your social insurance number. In Canada, employers cannot ask you this information on your resume or application. Use a professional and easy-to-read font. Use fonts such as Times New Roman, Helvetica, or Garamond. There are a lot of good fonts available to you, but in a resume, it's better to use a professional-looking font. You shouldn't use a font smaller than 12 point. You want your information to be easily readable, and you want to avoid making your sections too dense. Don't write incomplete sentences or use personal pronouns. And don't use abbreviations. Start your sentences with an action verb, like taught, coordinated, created, etc. Doing this will keep your statements short and on topic. Don't use personal pronouns like I or we. If you want to use an abbreviation, introduce it by writing it out and abbreviating it in parentheses. For example, University of Prince Edward Island, UPEI. Include a career or employment objective. An objective gives your resume a clear and defined direction, which will be helpful for you and the person reading your resume. Here's an example. Recent Bachelor of Education graduate with experience as a professional videographer and editor seeking to work as an instructional multimedia support at UPEI. In this example, I used my most relevant qualifications and specifically stated which position I was applying for. Don't send out the same resume to every position you're applying for. Take the time to tailor your resume to each specific job. If there's a job posting, use that as an outline to start your resume. A job posting tells you exactly what information the employer is looking for, so use it as your starting point. Send your resume digitally as a .pdf. If you're applying online, always use a .pdf unless you are specifically told to submit in another format. If you have any questions, please contact us at careerservices@upei.ca.